Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one of my drawing sessions. Now today is a special episode. I'm making it more to promote a new comic that I made. Actually, it's the first full comic I've ever made, and I'll talk more about that later on in the video. Right now I'm just laying down the base work of this character. It's Selkie. I'll tell you what a Selkie is just a little later on here. But basically what I'm going to have her doing, she's going to be sitting by the ocean, just eating a big fish, or licking her lips, looking forward to eating a big fish. Yeah, I figured that would just make a cute little scene, have the moon in the background, some nice cliffs, and some nice ocean-smoothed rocks that she'll be sitting on. Anyway, basically, for those of you who don't know, Selkies are a mythical creature from Celtic origins. I can't really remember whether it's Irish or Scottish. Either one will be mad if I get it wrong, so I'll say it's both. But basically, Selkies are a type of fairy, or fair folk, and they live in the oceans during the day, and at night, they're able to come out and dance around on the beach, usually. And now what makes Selkies so special is that they are disguised as seals during the day, and then at night they peel out of their seal skins, or their seal pelts. I call them pelts, other people call them skins. And that's just, and then they reveal they have these beautiful human forms underneath. Usually, Selkies are portrayed as being very beautiful, whether they're male or female. They're very seductive. Well, not very seductive, but they can be quite seductive. They need their pelts or their seal skins in order to go back to the sea. So if they lose their skins, then they have to stay on land until they find their skin again. And now this is where the most famous Selkie legend comes from. So the Selkie wife is the legend of a Selkie who's dancing on the sea, or dancing on the beach rather, and she doesn't see a fisherman come up and steal her skin. And so he goes and he hides it back at his house, and then when all the other Selkies return to the sea, she's looking for her skin, but she of course can't find it. And so the fisherman, he comes out and he says to her basically, I have your skin, come be my wife, and I'll feed you every day, you'll live very happily with me. But Selkies, being bound to the sea, they don't like living on land for very long, so this makes her very sad, but she's bound by this rule in order to go be his wife. And in a few different versions of this legend, they have children, things like that, and they live nicely enough for a few years, but then she is finally able to find her skin, and she puts on her skin, and she disappears into the ocean. And usually she leaves her whole life behind on Earth, or on the land. She's never to be seen again, either by her children or her former husband. But I suppose that's what you get for essentially kidnapping a legendary creature. Yeah, so I'm just inking here on... I'm just inking the water right now. I've got little splash marks on the rocks. You know how sometimes when the ocean comes splashing in, it'll splash up on the rocks and spatter you with water. I live in a landlocked province, so I don't get to witness it very often. Maybe that's why I like Selkies so much. It kind of helps me connect to the ocean a little more. But yeah, basically, you see she has her Selkie skin kind of wrapped around her waist. And in my versions of my stories of Selkies, a lot of them just keep their skins wrapped around themselves in order to keep them secure so that people won't go and steal them, like I said before. Now, in my story, Moonflaw, that is a comic that I'm writing, or I've written. It's complete now. I'm just waiting to scan it. Now, it is a story about Selkies. It's completely dialogue free. I did that mostly just so I wouldn't have to write a script because I'm a lazy bum sometimes, but also just because it makes it more accessible to people who might not speak English, which is the only language I really know. And I really didn't want to create a Google Translate abomination. So basically, what a moonflaw is, it's an ancient word. It means essentially an attack of lunacy, and a lot of lunatics, things like that. It comes from the root word for the moon, luna, loon, lunatic, things like that. And Selkies have a strong connection to the moon as well, and that's because Selkies are bound to the sea, and the sea is governed by the moon. And a lot of Selkies interpret the pulling of the water by the moon or the tides as the sea trying to return to the moon. And so Selkies have a strong desire to return to the moon after they pass away. And in this comic, that's exactly what they do. I made up a little bit of my own headcanon just to allow for just to change it up a little bit, so I'm not repeating the same old story that's been retold. So the Selkies, when they pass away, they essentially become a shooting star and they fly to the moon, and that's where they're able to swim and dance for all eternity as nice ethereal ghosts. And yeah, you can read all about it in my new comic. It'll be available on Kindle here, and also available for hard copies later on. Yeah, so check out my Facebook page, Studio Fetter, and yeah, you'll learn more information about it eventually. So, now my design for Selkies, I decided to make them look a little more seal-like. So I gave them big doughy eyes, and I like giving them those little whiskers that seals have coming out of their eyebrows there. I always found those really cute, so I like to give them to the people as well. Yeah, and some Selkies, they're interpreted as coming out of their skins naked. I'm not really into drawing naked people, so I decided to draw them having kind of a set dress or pair of pants or some sort of outfit that they're able to come out with, so that they're not having to change all the time and everything like that. So now you can see I've moved on to the coloring stage of my video here. So I use a lot of blacks and whites. I like to usually have one highlight color, so in this one I use greens and a touch of blue as well, so you get a very green, nature connected picture here, which besides in the twilight you can't really see all that much color anyway, so that's why I decided to go with this color palette. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me for this video. I hope to see you again in another video. Please remember to like and subscribe. This has been Studio Fetter, or James Stevenson, signing out.